So got this situation. Actor-director Rob Reiner checked himself into a facility after a series of increasingly alarming blue sky posts in the wake of Donald Trump's election win. Reiner, who made a name for himself as the character Mike Meathead Stivic on the sitcom All in the Family, has not been taking the results of the 2024 U.S. presidential election well. An outspoken Democrat and activist, Reiner engaged in a prolonged social media meltdown that started when the election of Donald Trump was called November 5th and ended with a trip to a mental health facility early in the morning. The director of films like The Princess Bride and When Harry Met Sally left Elon Musk's platform for Blue Sky, but quickly found out it wasn't the social media paradise he assumed it would be. All the abuse and hate from Twitter has now spewed over to here, Reiner opined. There seems to be no point anymore. On November 20th, Rob Reiner unleashed a series of posts on the platform that continued late into the night, ultimately culminating in his arrival at a facility for his mental health. He started things off by calling the incoming president a fascist and claimed that the United States has fallen. Republicans have no idea what they've done, Reiner said just yesterday at 8:45 p.m. America has fallen. MAGA just do not understand the consequences of electing a fascist like Donald Trump. Yes, we've heard this all before. He's a fascist, he's a Nazi, he's a white supremacist, he's this and that. Oh my goodness gracious, he's evil, blah, 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 blah. Yet he's never actually done anything to make any of those claims viable against him, and he used to be the media's darling all the time. They would praise him and talk about how amazing he was, and then as soon as he elected to tell people that he was running for president as a Republican, bada bing, bada boom, all of a sudden there's all this evil carnage that he's unleashed upon the world, and oh my goodness, everyone's always been calling him Satan. Oh wow, what a horrible person he was. At 10:57 p.m., Reiner continued to rail against Blue Sky after receiving pushback on his earlier posts. Apparently, when you spend your evening screaming about how evil half the country is, eventually they bite back. So yes, a completely overrun leftist Twitter, essentially, decided they were going to make their own thing, and there's a lot of pedos on there. It's kind of confusing to see, right? But you got a lot of these lefties over there, a lot of pedos on there, a lot of people who from Hollywood and other areas of kind of mainstream media leaving Twitter or X so that they can go to Blue Sky, and you've got Rob Reiner on there, and apparently he didn't expect to get pushback from people who happen to also remain on X, who didn't want to have to deal with the fact that you've got an entire organization that is dependent upon excluding people from being able to share their opinions and voices. So, when Rob Reiner's going on his tirade about how evil America is for, upholding democracy, the thing that he would always champion for as a leftist, I would assume, lo and behold, when right-wingers come along and hold him accountable for his statements, he decides he's going to freak out. DeGeneres left the UK. A couple other people did a couple other things. Ellen DeGeneres, whom I have known for a long time and is a beautiful and caring woman, had the right idea, Reiner said at 11:25. She obviously does not want to be part of a place that is filled with hate, evil, and fascism. Or maybe she just doesn't want to get indicted for all the other things that she could possibly be held accountable for. Maybe she doesn't want to get indicted along with every other mainstream media outlet that should be because of all the lies they've spewed. The defamation lawsuits that would come at them because of the lies that they've spoken and lies that they've spread about Donald Trump and the American population at large, right-wingers, conservatives in general, the amount of lies that they have put against people, the amount of things that they have said that are untrue would cause them to go broke in the lawsuits that ensue in and of themselves. Speaking of madness, Reiner's next Blue Sky post came at 12:23 a.m. The former meathead confirmed that he would be checking himself into a facility for the next few days. So we've got a crazy leftist who doesn't like the fact that America decided to vote for the person who is actually common sense, freaking out, telling all Americans that they're evil, or at least half the population that they're evil. That half of the population happens to clap back and say, hey buddy, here's a fact check for you. Everything that you stand for has been propagated by nothing but evil and lies, And because of the fact that he can't take valid criticism, he decided he was going to go into a mental facility, because that's how weak-minded this gentleman is. Rather than thinking about what it is that people have said, engaging in actual fruitful dialogue, and continuing on, he decides he's going to flee to a leftist exclusive platform. When he gets the slightest pushback, he freaks out, insults half of America, and then gets so peeved that he decides the best course of action for him to take is to just check himself into a facility for mental health. Admittedly, he should probably be in a facility for mental health. Let's just be fair. Most leftists probably should, because there's a lot of wackos over there, okay? Admittedly. He did it for the wrong reasons, but at least he's finally in one. He's finally where he belongs. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I hope you have a great day and a great rest of the week.